Clickbait. Welcome back to another great episode, if I do say so myself. We have, episode 53 on the books. We have so much to talk about today. We have the Bachelor Nation breakdown, and we have a very fun guest. We have Mykenna from Bachelor in Paradise on today's episode. But there are just so many juicy things going on in Bachelor Nation right now. Like, I don't know, Michelle's cast being leaked and the fact that, we have a new Bachelor host. So why don't we just dive on into it and get started? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think we should start there. That's a lot.
Okay, cool. But actually, I want to break it. I want to ask Joe a question before we really get into Bachelor. Is that okay?
I love when we start like this.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Joe, I actually got a DM the other day, and it started saying, "You are so annoying and kind of a bitch. You are so mean to Joe." And I said, my exact words were, "Excuse me?" Because I don't think that am I mean to you?
No, I think that's our relationship. We go back and forth with each other.
But it's like, it's all love. Like,
yeah.
No, you know what I mean? I don't think there's...
people...
Here he goes. See, this is why I don't let Joe talk, because it's just going to be ridiculous.
A lot of people out there, which I appreciate, have my back. So,
absolutely,
they may misunderstand our relationship, but I don't get offended by anything really, and you do not offend me. We're just having fun. So that's what we're doing here. Tayshia busts my balls, I bust her balls, and that's just what we're doing.
It's actually, absolutely. And I don't think I've ever been called a bitch before. So I was very taken aback by that. And especially about you. I love you more than anything. Like, I wouldn't know. Yeah. That's why I just wanted to clarify for the people.
I love you too, Tayshia, but for the people listening, you could go at her if she gets a little out of line. Go for it.
Excuse me? No.
I personally love it. I personally love it.
Thank you. And honestly, number one rule, Joe, okay, in case you leave this whole paradise thing with a relationship and whatnot, number one rule that you're taught in couples counseling is not to say the word but after trying to give a compliment. You know what I mean? So you just said, "I love you, but."
Okay.
Really not cute. Not it.
Listen,
I love you, period.
Okay.
Also,
yes.
I would like to add.
Yes. You would also like to add?
No. Okay.
I love that this feeds into our clickbait that we're going to talk about later too, about when you need to end a friendship.
I mean, yeah. Well, we have just a lot to talk about, okay? And maybe this will help us decide. Although I don't think we really need to end our friendship. So anyway, let's get into it, you guys. We have some really juicy tea up in Bachelor Nation as per usual. But right off the bat, let's talk about Mr. Jesse Palmer, who has been named the new host of Bachelor season 26, which is so exciting. I am very excited for Jesse. For those of you that do not know who Jesse is, he actually was on season 5 of The Bachelor, and he actually works on ESPN now. He just hosted another show for ABC.
The Ultimate Surfer.
Yeah, called The Ultimate Surfer. So he is a familiar face, and I think he's actually going to kill it this season. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I know him. Well, I know him because he was The Bachelor. I don't think I watched that season, but I watch him on ESPN, and he was the host of Ultimate Surfer. So when I saw it come through yesterday, when I saw it like on the internet or on social media, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I wasn't shocked at all. I was like, that totally makes sense. He's somebody, in my opinion, that could really control a room, and that's what you need in a host. So I think he's going to be great. But
and also, and also, I think we've seen like the benefit of having a previous Bachelorette and Bachelor in the host role for the support, like for supporting the lead, and I think that. I think it's kind of cool because he is kind of from when The Bachelor had no social media aspect and was really just truthfully adults looking for love on a show that was kind of different. You know, it was a very different TV show. And I think that he can kind of bring some of that originality back to this season. You know what I mean?
He was there in the era where people were there for the right reasons.
For real.
Yeah.
The right reasons.
Yeah.
The real reasons. And I think it's cool. He might just have a very interesting twist. So I'm actually very excited for Jesse. Congratulations. This is going to be a fun season.
Yeah, he's going to be great. I mean, I met him at the premiere of The Ultimate Surfer, and he hosted that, and he was really awesome. And I watched it. The Ultimate Surfer aired after Paradise, and I watched like every episode. It was a really cool show. I know nothing about surfing, so it was really cool to watch. And also, Hannah Ann and Mike was on it as well. So, I mean, he's already in the ABC family, and I think that he did a really great job with Ultimate Surfer. So, we are ready, Jesse.
Woo-hoo. Good job, Jesse. We're excited for you.
Fun. He's super fun. Let's talk about that.
I mean, I haven't really looked, but
yeah, he's really hot.
So, congrats to Jesse Palmer, and
Zaddy Palmer.
But that is not the only spicy news that we have regarding The Bachelor and Bachelorette. Bachelorette season 18 cast has been released, and you guys, I do speak from in-person experience, but these photos do not do these men justice. Okay.
We say this
all I have to say
every year.
I know we say this every year, but still people love to judge the photos.
Yep.
I am so excited for this season. These 30 men it's just going to be juicy. Okay. It's going to be incredible.
So yeah, you know what? We do say this every season. We say the photo, don't judge the photo. Everybody's super good looking in person. Is there any of the guys that stood out to you? Because you're there.
Oh my gosh. Can I just say, okay, so yes, absolutely. But I have to say, I think night one, the entrances were incredible. I think this season's like night one is really different. I think that they kind of pulled out all the stops. There are some entrances that I've never seen before, have been done before, but I've personally have never seen. And I don't know. I really, the guys brought the heat, and I thought it was really fun. So,
would either of you ever have done like a gimmicky entrance? Like
what?
Because I wouldn't. I remember they asked me for my night, which I probably should have, but I remember they asked me for my night one. I'm like, I'm only walking up, introducing myself, saying who I am, and that's it. Like, I'm not gonna wear a hot dog suit or
something like that. Yeah, no. Yeah. I mean, if it went with like my personality, like if they were like, walk up to him and like, bend over and touch your toes or something, I'd be like, okay, I do that, like, all right, or something like that. But if it had to do with something that I would actually, like, I don't eat hot dogs. I would not do a hot dog suit. You know what I mean? Like that, like, no, I don't think I would do that. I mean, my entrance, I did like essential oils. Like, it wasn't just like, hey, I'm Natasha. I did like a whole like essential oil breathing thing. Cause like, that's my vibe.
Okay.
So I guess it was a gimmick. I guess.
What'd you do, Tayshia?
I was too nervous to formulate a sentence, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Tayshia, and I'm nervous."
Okay, so you didn't have any gimmick. You just
I didn't have a gimmick, but I had like a thing set up for him later in the night. So I did a whole thing called Tayshia Land, and I basically brought like the Orange County Fair to the mansion, and we did like all of these.
Tayshia
I mean,
Land.
Honestly, I have to say, like, it was iconic. Okay? It's Tayshia Land, baby. It was so great.
That is funny.
I couldn't. What are those things called where you throw the little circle onto like the sticks, the pegs? What is that game called? Like, it's kind of like horseshoe, but not really.
Yeah, I don't know the name of the game. I'll never know it.
I couldn't do it to save my life. I couldn't do anything to save my life. It was actually really funny. So I tried to like act all tough, like I'm really good at like fair games, and I really was not. But yeah, I probably would do a gimmick, but I would probably do one of the gimmicks that one of the guys did this season, actually.
Okay.
They were fun. So who did anybody stick out to you guys? I know all of them, so I don't really want to say too much, but did anybody stick out to you guys just by glancing over the cast?
Yes, but I'll let Natasha go first.
PJ, okay. So just going through this article and just looking at people, there's certain people who I was like, oh, hold on. PJ, fine AF. Firefighter, 30. He fine. He's super fine. And the one guy who I don't know. He's like a personal trainer.
There's a couple of those.
He has like tattoos and stuff. Now, I don't know this man. I'm only seeing a picture of him. He is definitely giving me bad boy vibes, but he is very hot. He's very hot. His name is Martin. Yeah, those two stuck out to me like just immediately. But those two, for me, it was Martin and PJ that I was like, oh, y'all fine.
I would say, I would say probably Nate because he's 6'8", and I think that's got to be the tallest guy ever.
Wait, which one is
on
Nate?
The show? His name's Nate. I don't know much else about him. He's got shaved head. Looks like he's got a couple earrings, but he's 6'8".
I mean, the way that you're describing him, Joe, he sounds
Nate
hot.
6'8".
Yeah,
I couldn't.
6'8".
Yeah, I literally did the
Nate with the Y.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's 6'8".
Yeah, I would say so. Nate is officially the tallest man ever on The Bachelor. I would say. I don't think we've ever broken 6'8".
Really?
Yeah.
So anyway, I think that you guys really, I think night one's going to be one to definitely watch. I feel like the guys kind of bring the heat. So I'm very excited. Let us know who your guys' top picks are. I want to know who you guys are all, have your eyes on.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm just going to end it and say that I feel like the pictures never do the guys justice because, I mean, in Tayshia, you met them. When you meet like a really tall guy, like no one would know that Nate is 6'8" from this picture, right? When you meet a really tall person, like even Joe, like meeting you in person, like you're a lot taller than someone would expect, I think, just from looking at pictures. And so I think that's what makes a lot of the guys a lot hotter in person, their like presence, because you're like, whoa, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, there's people that thought I was 5'7".
Yeah.
And I'm like almost 6'2". I'm like 6'1 3/4".
Really?
Well, whatever. Yeah.
I thought you were like 6'3".
No.
I easily thought you were 6'3", 6'4".
Let's say 6'2". I'm 6'2".
Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is weird. We're not talking about you anymore, Joe.
Okay.
And then for the third Bachelor Nation breakdown, we have Ivan leaves Paradise after producers learn of his quote unquote giant mistake. And okay, so obviously we saw this week that kind of go down at the rose ceremony. Mm-hmm. Wells kind of pulled Ivan aside and they had this conversation. Tell me how you guys were feeling in that moment, because you obviously were like, something happened at the hotel last night, but you guys had no idea. Did you ever think what he did was ever like a possibility?
I was like checked out of all the drama because I've been involved in so much drama up until this point where I was like, I don't even care. It's rose ceremony.
I thought it was just because you were too busy macking out in the pool.
Well, yeah, but it's rose ceremony night. It's late. I'm like, what did this guy do now? Like, what did he do?
Right.
Because we were at the hotel the night before, because that was the night of the tropical storm. I had figured it had to be. I figured he had to have left his room. I just didn't know if he had met up with somebody that was currently on the beach, because that's what I thought had happened.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it was like nobody knew. It took forever for like that conversation with him and Wells was like over an hour. We were all standing there.
Wow.
Like,
yeah.
And all I could say, and then Natasha, you jump in, but all I could say is like the producer left the phone thing. I thought was just, I mean, I don't know what happened. And at this point, I really don't care. But like, who doesn't like if a phone like don't iPhones automatically lock? Like, who doesn't have a lock on their iPhone? So
I mean, I get that aspect of it all, but also at the same time, wait, Natasha, I want to hear what you have to say first, because I have some thoughts and feelings.
Well, I just think that, regardless of someone leaving a phone open or whatever, you still did the act. You still had to do it. It's like, Joe, if they did that to you and you literally knew Serena's room number, like, would you still go to her room knowing that you know exactly where she is? It's like, I'll see her in Fantasy Suites in like 2 days. It's fine. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I would have never, I don't know. So,
I just think that I think that it's an excuse that they left the phone because he still, I think, did it. But also at the same time, regardless of what happened at the hotel, the main key that people have to understand is that stuff happened at the hotel. Then the next day, the things that was going on the beach and the things that was being said and all that other stuff happened after that. Right.
You're saying him and Chelsea.
Yes.
Him, Chelsea, and
that whole conversation.
Yes. The whole thing. And like, that's what people have to like, or at least for me, that was my shock. I was like, oh, wait, so you already did all this and was expecting to see this person. And so Chelsea was basically going to be chopped liver tomorrow. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I was like,
Yeah. And it's funny. It's interesting because I guess like the conversation between him and Chelsea, it's something, I mean, personally, I thought something was just a little off. It just seemed a little strange to me that like all of a sudden, like now we have a love interest, and it made sense. Like, oh, maybe he's just looking for a rose. But now that we're putting all the pieces together, it's because he actually snuck out of his room, was with the girl, now needed to get a rose because she was about to come down and he wanted to see her. And it's just like, it sucks that Chelsea was obviously used in the grand scheme of things. But I'm just happy that everything kind of came to light. But I guess for me, like, I thought it was very interesting of him. I don't know. Paradise is really hard, but saying that like love makes you do crazy things, like, you know what I mean? It just, no, unfortunately, I think you were thinking with something else other than like your heart or your love. And
well,
am I right or am I wrong?
I mean,
I'm right.
I mean, that's what a lot of, I mean, that's normal though. I mean, guys.
What's normal?
Guys think with their dicks sometimes. This is, in my opinion, and I don't even know if this is true or not, but the vibe I got from Ivan, when Kendall left, was he was just kind of like checked out and like over it and like this, and I think he really did want it to work, Paradise, for him. And I just think then he just got to a point where he's like, it's over for me. So let me sneak out of my hotel room is what I thought he was thinking.
Yeah. And also too, I think, in my opinion, everything that he has done up until that point, I do think that I think he really liked Jasenia. I think he really liked Kendall. I think he really wanted to try to make Paradise work for him. I don't think that Ivan's this awful guy. I do think that he got caught up in a lie, and we all saw that come to light. We saw that come to light, like in so many ways. They put out all the receipts and showed that.
Well, that's what, hold on, not to cut you off, but that's one thing I don't get. I'll never get about people that come on this show with the lying and all the bullshit.
It's like you're on a television show and being legitimately
fucking
recorded.
Mics on us. We are mic'd up all the time. We get caught lying. You get caught lying when you're not mic'd up and on camera. Everybody knows. It's so crazy. Yeah. But go ahead, Natasha. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was like a big piece of the puzzle of it all. And that's why like everyone, he was like, she pulled me. That was a big piece of the puzzle. And Chelsea was like, I did not pull him. And so everything kind of came to head, and it was like, listen, if he was just honest about being like, yo, like, it's a rose ceremony day, Aaron, that rose is not yours, it's up for grabs, like, what, I'm going for it, I don't care, or whatever it is, like, I think that we've seen that happen so much on this show. We've seen people on rose ceremony day go, we saw it with Demi and James when he was going to give his rose to Victoria. I mean, we see it happen so much, right? So there's nothing wrong with it. But it just, the way that it all played out, and it's always the lie for me, it's the lie for me. So, I think that he learned a valuable lesson, as people do when they come on these shows and their lying becomes public, right? I think he learned a valuable lesson. And I think for me, I have a special place in my heart for Aaron, and I know that a lot of people are pissed off at him, and people don't fuck with Aaron because he's always in like the drama, and he's always the main person in the drama. And do I think he should handle his emotions differently? Absolutely. And I've talked to him about that. But I do think that he's very triggered by people lying to him. He had it with Tammy. He had it with Ivan now. And again, figuring out how to communicate that properly is something he needs to work on, which he admits. But and seeing it back, he's learning a lot as well. But I also think he is someone who it was justified, because he did end up lying. And he felt, I think, in the end of the day, that he was justified with everything. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like Aaron definitely has a temper, but, if everyone that went on the show, like, was just completely chill and normal, it wouldn't really make for TV either. Right. So you do need those people that have a little bit of a temper or something going on there.
Yeah.
Aaron kept it 100 on the beach. That's all I got to say. He kept it 100. Not a lot of people did that.
I'm not going to lie. This is one thing. And I think you even said that about Aaron too, is that he's been very loyal and very honest to the people that he was dating on the beach, like the entire time. Yes, he does kind of talk a lot and has like some heated conversations and has a lot of opinions, but really? I actually did kind of feel bad for him with the situation, just because he was being genuine and he knew something about it was kind of off, and there was a different motivation behind what Ivan was trying to do. So it did kind of feel bad for the guy. I get it. Not a lot of people are on his side, but hey, he was real, and a lot of people don't like that at times.
Yeah. So speaking of Aaron, shout out to James. He has been a good friend, a bromance. Everybody talks about their bromance that they have. And I kind of want to get into this clickbait, which is about friendships and how to let go of friendships. And basically, when things have when things have hit a point in a relationship or a friendship that you're just kind of like, you grow apart, you're over it. And I want to, before we like get into the nitty gritty of it, I want to ask you guys, now that, you were of a certain age, we had our high school friends, our middle school friends, some we still have, some we don't have anymore in our new lives, or in our now lives, not new lives, in our now lives. Have you guys had trouble distancing yourself from people who maybe you have outgrown or have done you wrong, who was once upon a time a really good friend? Tayshia, Joe?
Have I had trouble?
Yeah, like cutting off someone who clearly was a good friend of yours, but you outgrown them, or they did something awful, or whatever you want.
I have experienced this. And actually, truthfully, it was kind of after, I guess there was always kind of like a competition aspect in that friendship at times. Not from my end, but I always felt like, I don't know, like if I got something, like they always had to have it, or like they weren't happy for me in some ways. But truthfully, after Bachelor, I think that all the red flags kind of came to light in the sense of like being supportive and just wanting to be there during like the lows of it all. You know what I mean? And truthfully, I had to separate myself from that friendship because it ended up being more like toxic and draining. And I wanted to be there, but they were like at the end using me. And it sucks because it was a friend that I had since I was in elementary school. Right. Most of my friends I've had since I was in kindergarten, most friends I've had for 10 plus years. So for me to do that and kind of separate from a friend group that kind of was with me since being a child was really difficult. And I didn't really understand it. It was really tough for me at times. I don't know, but yes, I have experienced that before. But at the end of the day, it was like a weight lifted off of my shoulders because I felt like I could actually be me, as opposed to kind of like dimming my accomplishments or not telling them about something and then feeling like I have to hide about it because I can't be honest with her. And it's just like, those kind of friendships are not worth it,
Yeah.
And it sucks though.
And the way that you'd handle that was just distancing yourself, basically.
Yeah, distancing myself and choosing not to really just engage anymore.
Yeah, in this article, they call that drifting away, or like a slow closure, kind of just like building distance instead of just like a talk where it's like, listen, we don't mess with each other no more. You know what I mean? Instead of like, cut, it's more just like, I can't, and I think that's a great way to deal with certain things, because it's like, it's not that the person did something specific to you. Right. It's just an energy that you felt like this person really isn't happy for me when I am telling them about my accomplishments or my this or that. And yeah, we should not be in a competition with our girlfriends and people. I feel I feel like men do that a lot more, and they can deal with it a little bit better when like guys are like a little bit more in competition, I guess. I don't know. But for women, it's just a very hard thing. It's like you want your girl to, rep you rep them, and it's like we're supporting each other, right?
Yeah, and I feel like, I mean, Joe, you can obviously chime into this in the sense of like how guys connect, but I think for like females, like we're very open with our girlfriends. Like it's almost like a sister in a way. You know what I mean? You're very vulnerable with them. You're very authentic with them and real and cry and do all of these things that it's kind of strange to kind of pull away from that. It's really difficult to do that, especially when you've opened so much to yourself. As far as guys go, Joe, chime in here because I don't know what that would look like.
So I would to you?
Yeah, I would say I experienced that like when I was younger. So like 18, 19, like the friends that you were really close with in high school. Everybody just starts doing their own things and you start becoming an adult and just liking, different things and not really relating to that person as much anymore. But for me personally, I've always kept like my inner circle of friends really small. And they've been my friends, same as Tayshia, for, 20 plus years. And it's more of, I look at my really close friends like family, where it wouldn't be like if something happened where we stopped talking, it wouldn't be like a slow drift. There would have to be something dramatic that happened that would be like, all right, well, you and I are obviously don't see eye to eye anymore. And it would probably be more of a fight, or like it would most likely go from like we were like brothers and now I hate you and you hate me kind of a thing.
Right.
But I have like a lot of friends, but like I don't talk to them on a day-to-day basis, I guess.
Yeah, and I think just as we get older and like we have more responsibility and like, relationships and things like that, but there's those people in our lives that, you may not talk to them for a month, 3 months, whatever, then you talk and it's like you never skipped a beat and it's just perfect.
Yeah.
And I feel those are really good friends. But with this article, and they're talking about letting it go, the main thing that stuck out to me is basically when you actually should let go of a friendship, because like Tayshia said, like you get to a point where you realize that this person isn't happy for me. This person isn't hyping me up. Or, you are in this relationship where they're not supporting you when you tell them certain things, and also just having your back. And I think that relating this back to the show, the conversation that Aaron and James had when James was like, listen, I'm going to have your back regardless because you're my boy. But it's a different thing if Chelsea pulled Ivan, right? Like he literally said that, like, as your boy, I love you and I'm gonna have your back. But if she pulled him, like, that's the name of the game. Like, you got you can't be tripping like this. And like that, he just showed like that was such a good friend, because I don't know about you guys, but I want my friends to hold me accountable when I'm
being honest with them too.
And also kind of be like devil's advocate and like help you see it from a different perspective so that you learn, you grow, you tell me how it really is. I don't want you to just tell me what I want to hear and sugarcoat things.
Right, exactly. And I think that that's very important, because some friends, just to be around you, just to be in your world, they'll be like, oh yeah. And it's like, girl, you got me out here being crazy. And you're not even telling me that. And then they'll go talk behind your back. Like, let me tell you what she did. Let me tell you what she did.
And you're like, I was like, what? You encourage that.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Tayshia. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes. You're like, what are you talking about? I talked this through with you. Now you're...
You want a friend to call you out because you want to grow as a person. And when somebody is your cheerleader, cheering you on to do stupid shit, that's not actually helping you grow. It's prohibiting you to become a better person. So
yeah,
absolutely.
I agree with that. And for me, like, I have friends that I've had, I mean, my really close girlfriends who I've had forever. And like you said, Joe, it's like a family thing. Like they literally are like my family. And they want to see me thrive. But I mean, one of my best friends, like literally she's my best friend. We grew up together. There was a point when we were in high school and she was just wild. And I was like, girl, I need a minute. Like, I was like, I need a minute. And I literally did the same. I literally did a hard stop. Like you said, Joe, is like, no, no, we cannot be. But then we got back friends and she's still my best friend and things happened great. And so, I mean, creating boundaries, and I think we've talked about this in relationships as well, it's just as important as friends. So.
Absolutely. And I also think like that's like important, and that it's going to happen. You know, I mean, that's how we learn and grow as human beings. And like, just because they go through a phase doesn't mean we have to be there through all the phases if it doesn't morally sit well with us or that's not us. But doesn't mean that we have to be like mean about it and be like, you know, I don't know what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be an abrupt
I think some people just simply grow apart. And either person has done anything wrong. They just are.
They grow apart.
They just grow apart.
And I'll finish this by saying the other thing on this article that was really great was talking about loving from afar. There are people who that are no longer in my life that I still love them as a person. I love them so much, and I still pray for them, and I still think about them, and I still like sometimes will send a text like, "Hey, just thinking about you." But like our energy, whatever, doesn't match anymore. But you can still love someone from afar if the relationship is somewhat toxic in some sort of way, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh. All right. Well,
my love.
Yeah, so some positive vibes on this. What has clickbait turned into? All right. Well, now it is time for our guest. She is running a little late, and she was also late coming in the Bachelor in Paradise, and it wasn't the easiest entrance. But hopefully her time on clickbait will be a little easier. Everyone, please welcome Mykenna. Mykenna, what's up? How are you?
I'm good. I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. All right. So
thanks for having me.
We saw you make your second entrance last night. Let's talk about the first one. You make your first entrance at the party. Now, did you think when you made that entrance, you were in paradise for good, or did you think there was a chance you would have to go back to the hotel?
I thought that this was kind of my entrance. I know I wasn't at the beach, but I thought that I would be going and meeting everyone soon. I mean, I had the best time at this party. I really enjoyed it. I know some people were like, this was the most lame party ever, but I thought it was a blast. I was excited just to be there and meet everyone. I mean, being stuck in Canada, I haven't had the opportunity to meet anyone. So that to me was like my first chance. And yeah, I mean, it was weird coming in with 3 other girls, but I enjoyed myself that night. And I thought that I'd be coming in soon and meeting everyone again, but that obviously wasn't.
Refresh our memories. Who kind of like sparked your interest at that first party? Were you like kind of excited? Like, okay, wait, if this is like my time, who am I going to kind of go after?
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I felt that me and Thomas had a good conversation. But then, you know, time goes on and he obviously connected with Becca. But he was someone that I really felt I connected with and thought our conversation flowed well. And then Aaron was someone I also was really into. He was having an off night. And I think that's why I was excited to come down to the beach and meet him. Was hoping that he'd be in a better headspace and that we could connect maybe on a deeper level than we were on that night. But yeah, those were definitely the 2 that I was excited to see again.
I can see how that kind of like kind of rattled you coming down like the first time, because you already kind of had like an idea in your head, like, okay, wait, these 2 people have kind of sparked my interest. I'm excited.
Yep.
And you probably thought it was just gonna, I don't know what you thought, but take it from there, Joe.
Okay, yeah. So for I guess 2 parts. Did you notice when you were at that party? Did you notice any of the drama that was going on? Were you even paying attention to that?
I was honestly just living my best life. I'm not getting in drama this time around. I'm just here to make a connection, enjoy myself, enjoy this experience. I knew there was like something going on with like Aaron, and like, but I remember having a conversation with him being like, you know what, just focus on yourself. Just try to enjoy this. But
cool.
I guess you get
all right. So you go to this party, you look good. You're having a great time. You're talking to everybody. And then it's a letdown because then you go back to the hotel and you don't go to the beach.
Right.
What, like that, honestly, For real, that sucks. Like, I feel for you because that was like, oh, what? I know how I would feel, and I would just be devastated. I would just be so upset.
Right.
What was that? What was going through that like those few days that you had to go back to the hotel?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sucked. I mean, all I could think about was like, I gotta go back to Canada and quarantine for 2 weeks, so this better be worth it, you know?
Right.
But I was just trying to stay positive, trying to stay hopeful, being like, maybe this is just the timing and everything's gonna work out when I get down there, and that there could be someone that's had a rough time and that everything's gonna fall into place. It's just the positive side of who I am. But I tried to stay hopeful. Definitely got tough because, you know, I'm like, someone could be falling in love with the person that I was kind of interested at the party, and it's going to be too late. But I still wanted to go to the beach. You know, I was excited about the opportunity and just seeing what could be. So, yeah. You
finally get down to the beach. How are you feeling about it? What's going on in your head?
Yeah, I was a little bit nervous coming down. I didn't know what to expect, but I just wanted to stay hopeful. Coming down, I felt like I got that weird vibe. Everyone was kind of like, why is she here? Like, what's happening? Like I just
felt that?
I felt just super awkward being
that
there.
You are definitely not wrong for feeling that way.
I just walked down and I was so excited coming down, like felt really confident, and then coming down, like everyone was just by the pool, like hanging out, and I walk in and they're just like the time's ticking, like there's not much time, like why are you coming in? And I think that's why a lot of my emotions came out, like when Aaron said no, it's just because I was like, I personally didn't feel welcomed in a way, because I just felt like the odd man out, just like coming in.
And that's true. I mean, not to cut you off, but that's kind of what happened. Like I felt really bad for you, because I think everybody's like vibe that day was just kind of like, we're almost done, like paradise is almost over,
and that was the thing too. It was like, you are all exhausted, you found who you want to be with, and you're ready to leave and make this work in the outside world, and I'm coming in being like, I'm ready to go. And
I will say, I don't think that sentiment was directed specifically towards you. I think people felt the same way about Anna as well. Like anyone who would have come in at that moment, it was kind of like, it was
like a thing at that point.
Yeah, it was. I don't think it, and I hope you didn't feel that it was like a personal thing, but like at that point, anyone that would have come in, because it was just so late in the game, and like you said, we were all so exhausted, and every day after a rose ceremony day, those days last so long. Yeah. We're like, oof, honey. So but in your conversation, so you pulled a bunch of people to talk, and then in your conversation, you pulled mainly people that were at the party, I think, right?
Yeah.
And you pulled a bunch of people to talk, and the conversation that you had with Thomas versus the conversation you had with Aaron, and these are the two guys that you were into. Did it just feel like Thomas was more closed and Aaron was more open, and that's why you asked him, or why did you go that way?
Well, I mean, Thomas made it really clear that like Becca was it, and that the last bit since I last saw him, that like she's all that he wants to go. And when I spoke to Aaron, like he did make it clear that he was talking to Chelsea and it was going well. But I felt like we were kind of like flirting in a way. And, I had asked him like how he's been since it all. And he said he's been doing well. And so when I sat down with him, when he like said no to the date and he said he hasn't been well, I was like, what do you like? That's where I was kind of blindsided by, being like, I much rather you just told me saying I'm interested in Chelsea and like, I can't go on this date with you, instead of I'm not well, when I just spoke to you 10 minutes ago and you said that you were doing really great. So that's kind of where I was hurt more so by, and being rejected, because I just was like a whole 180, being like, well,
we just spoke.
Yeah,
and
we
like
just
you
spoke.
Kind of seemed interested, and then
we're laughing,
like,
and like he was the only conversation I felt was like it just flowed well. So I was like, oh yeah, I would love to take this guy on a date.
Yes. I get how that can be. Kind of make you feel blindsided.
Because I thought that I was like, what did he? I mean, watching it back, of course, we didn't see your conversation, but on the beach, I remember I was like, what was Aaron saying to her? To what I mean? Because a lot of people
make her feel like she should ask him to go on a date.
Exactly, to make her think that he's open to going on a date, right? And so watching it back, it was like, yeah, you guys seemed like you had like a little vibe, you know, you guys were vibing and stuff like that. So I mean, I totally get it. So I also get why you felt the rejection that you did, because it was like this to this kind of happening. So yeah, I definitely understand that.
Despite Ed not being your initial choice for a date, what was going through your mind when he came down to talk to you on the beach?
I think I was just really hurt. I was trying to take everything in and just feeling embarrassed of rejection. It's not fun. And you know what he did was such a sweet gesture. And I
the
watched
sweetest thing.
Yeah, like I remember after it all happened, I felt bad for the way I like took it all. And even watching it over, I'm like, why couldn't you just have said yes? Because like these
I know,
nice.
yeah.
But I think I was just like, I'm embarrassed. Everyone's seen me cry on the beach now. Like I just got here. I just want to go home. Like this is like,
right.
This to me doesn't seem worth it anymore. Like this is obviously not working for me. I shouldn't be here. Like I should just go home. And that's kind of why I was just like, you seem really great, but like I'd rather go home. And I also felt bad that like I just asked someone else on a date, and now he's like, just, you know, I said no. I didn't want to go on a date with him at first, right? So I was like, this is kind of awkward and weird, but I'm glad I went on a date because it was fun. It was a good night, and I mean, I would have just went back to my hotel room and flew back, you know. So I got something, I mean, something good.
What made you eventually agree to go out with Ed? Because I know, like you said, you were struggling at that moment.
I mean, I've waited so long, like it would just be a waste just to leave. And you know, there's a date anyway set up, you know, we should go. And he seemed really great and very kind, and you know, that's what I look for in someone. And it might have took him a couple of tries to get me to say yes, but yeah, it was really sweet, and I'm glad I went.
I thought it was just really funny. He was just like, we're going to go and we completely hate each other, but we're going to go and have fun.
We're still going to go.
Honestly, truthfully, Ed has one of the biggest hearts. Like I adore Ed, and just watching him do that, I know that was like a big deal for him too. Like approaching you as well. Like, I don't know. I just love him. So that was really sweet. And the fact that he was just like,
look, I was annoyed. I'm gonna be honest.
Natasha, I know you were, but I will say it was a very sweet gesture on his part, just in the sense that because you guys were all watching her cry, and like that's just like a very kind thing to do. And the fact that he like kind of took all pressure off and just being like, you can actually hate me, but like let's just try to go laugh and like let's just try to go smile, because like no one should be crying. You know what I mean?
On our paint date, when we had to like paint them, like we had to like paint each other's bodies, I literally like made him into a superhero. And I was like, you gonna be Captain Save-A-Ho? So he lived up to that. Literally, I was like, save me. I've had an awful time here. So he saved me. He saved you. Thank you, Ed.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a sweetheart. He really is a great guy, honestly.
Yeah, he's our superhero.
Ed's funny. And Ed drinks like legit like 15 cups of coffee a day or something crazy.
Remember he told me the next morning, I'd be like, are you okay? Because I just had one thing a minute ago.
Yeah.
But he's never like the, like, you know how some people like they get like the itchy, like the he's normal. He's always chill,
like the jittery, like
jitters. Yeah. He's not a jittery person, which is nice.
It's so funny. Actually, like it's so funny. I think that was like a thing on even my season. Like someone said, like, Ed, I'm going to steal one of your Red Bulls or like something like that because he like loves like caffeine or something like that. Yeah, it's like one of those things. It's kind of crazy. It's one of those drinks. I don't know if it was Red Bull. It's so funny.
Okay, so
moving on.
We go so we have the beach. Then you guys go on your date. It's a great day. It's really cute. And then now we have prom. So tell me what was going on with prom. What did you think of prom? Did you go to your first prom? Did you have a prom that you went to yourself?
Well, where I grew up, like in Canada, where we call it like grad, and we do it when we like graduate high school, and it's not that big of a deal. So like I've grown up watching movies and watching American proms, and I was like homecoming, like, you know, like Queen and King. And I was like, this sounds so cool. I was excited. I was like, this is my first prom. Yeah. And it's 80s theme. I love like dressing up in themes like that. So I was excited. I thought it was super fun. I mean, I love little party things like this, like little, like people might think it's lame, but I love little things like that. So
everyone looked so good.
Yeah,
in their outfit.
Everyone looked amazing. Yeah, Yeah.
At least you had fun at prom.
Mm-hmm.
But how would you describe your Paradise experience all in all, even though it started at high, then kind of went kind of rocky, and then describe it for us without giving too much away.
Yeah.
For what's coming up.
Yeah. It definitely wasn't what I expected. I will say that.
What did you expect?
You know, I was just looking forward to meeting people, and you know, for someone like me that I haven't met anyone, so I couldn't choose. I didn't meet anyone outside of all this and dated them or whatever. You know, what we saw on the show. For clarity, she's in Canada and she's been quarantining, and and I haven't been able to travel, and you know, like I've spoke to people on the phone or things like that, but I haven't really met anyone. And so I was looking for like a genuine connection and hopefully, you know, love and all of that. And, you know, I didn't have high expectations, but I had some expectations, like wanting something out of it. And that obviously,
we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
We will see what happens.
We will see what happens next week. But it wasn't what I thought, but I still had a good time for how small of the time I was there. So
how would you say your time is different from your time on The Bachelor, from Bachelor in Paradise?
Well, no drama this time around, which is nice. Not that I was looking to start anything, but I felt like that was nice, that I didn't have to get in an argument with anyone, that I could just be myself, and I just wanted to show more of my fun side and not overthinking so much and crying so much. I cried it away, but I think I just was emotional in that moment. But very different. I mean, I was obviously on The Bachelor for a little bit longer, and but yeah, different, but still good experiences, I guess.
So going into Paradise, was there anyone that you wanted to see? Like, let's say if you were first on the beach or earlier on the beach, was there anyone that you're like, oh, I'm excited to see this person, I'm excited to see that person? Was there anyone you were thinking about or that was on your list of people to see?
Not really. I mean, I go off of just like an interaction with people and see if there's a chemistry there. And so that's what I was hoping for. It's just seeing if I just connected with someone. I wanted to stay open-minded. There wasn't really anyone that I was like, I haven't met anyone, so I didn't want to base it off looks or things. Like, I wanted just to like see if like that connection was there.
Yes.
Would you do it again? Like, would you do next season of Paradise?
I don't think so. No, I think I think I'm done. I think
Oh my God, it makes me so sad. I hate that your experience was like that.
Even if you knew, like, for a fact, somehow the Paradise gods told you you're coming in first on the beach, would you go? Because you are someone who was younger on Peter's season. You know, you are younger than some of the other people. Like, I mean, next year could be a blossoming time for you. Would you, if you knew you would be first on the beach, would you go?
I'd have to really think about it, I think.
So it's a maybe.
Maybe.
Never say never.
I don't know. I feel like I just haven't had two great experiences, so I don't know if it'd be hard to like put myself back out there and possibly get rejected again. And I don't know. I feel like it was tough for me to even say yes to Paradise. So
third time's the charm.
I would think. Possibly.
Third time is the charm. I mean, hey, let me tell you this. I was a Bachelorette, third time's the charm, and then I got engaged at third time's the charm. Okay.
She's just rubbing it in your face at this point.
I mean, really, honestly, Tayshia, really.
You had a rough go, Mykenna, because Paradise, I think Paradise is a great show, and I think you could really fall in love on the beach. But when you do come in so late, it makes it very, very difficult.
So
I understand you.
And also
like
people in their plans. I mean, listen, Paradise is tough. It really is. Yeah. So it's like you came in late, and it was justified why things sort of happened the way that it did because of your late arrival. Whereas coming in early, as you know, doesn't always work out either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
that's true.
So it's rough, but also there are beautiful things, and I'm so excited for everyone to see what happens next week because there are love connections, there are things happening. We have, I think, one more rose ceremony, right? And so I mean, it works for some people, and I think that, you know, like you said, coming in open, having an open heart, and just kind of wanting to feel the vibes. That's just the right mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All right. Well, Mykenna, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. If you want to let our listeners know where they could follow you on social media.
Yeah, you can follow me. Just my name, Mykenna. So Mykenna. Not MC. Look at it wrong, but yeah, My.
Cool.
Oh my gosh, you are so sweet. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And honestly, better luck. It'll happen. Just
if you get the opportunity, if you're single next year and you could figure out a way to make sure you're down there the first day, I think you should really think about it.
Absolutely.
We'll see. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mykenna.
So I wasn't at prom because I got sick. It looked like fun though, Joe, Mr. Prom King. Is it the grocer or prom king now? What do we refer to you as? I don't know.
Yes, what is it?
You know, because I'm not in high school anymore, I have to keep the moniker the grocer.
Okay.
So even though as much as I enjoyed being prom king, don't get me wrong, nothing.
Can I just tell you guys something?
What?
I'm pretty sure I inspired prom in Paradise.
Oh.
How was that? How's that?
Because I'm pretty sure I had the first prom in Paradise, which was 2 seasons ago. John took me to prom because I'd never gone to prom before. And it was the most epic thing in the whole wide world. And everybody loved it. They all came and danced with us. So I'm almost positive that kind of inspired your guys' prom. Ooh. And it was a good time, isn't it not?
Wow. I wanted to disagree with you there, but I would say you're probably right.
I am right. Yeah. I'm serious. I hadn't gone to prom and John wanted to take me to prom. And we had we had a punch bowl, we had a DJ, we had everything, like the Polaroids, everything.
That's so cute.
And it was really sweet. And so, so I just want to tell you, I think I inspired that. And
well, I still haven't had a prom on a beach, I tell you. I was like very, very sick, like super sick.
Oh, God.
That's why I was not at prom. I've gotten a lot of DMs about where was Natasha at prom, and it is because she could not get out of the bed. She could not get out of the bed. Yes.
Boy. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It took a week, but I felt better. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I felt better. Of course. We always get better, right?
Yes. Thank you so much to Mykenna for coming on today. I hate that her Paradise experience started off pretty rough, but let's see how it ends in the season finale next week. So thank you so much, Mykenna, for joining us today. And thank you to all of our listeners for listening to yet another clickbait episode. We truly love you guys.
Yes. And as always, make sure to subscribe and submit all your burning questions. Check us out on social and comment, DM us. You know where to find us at ClickbaitBN on Instagram, Batch Nation Twitter, and Bachelor Nation on Facebook.
Share your stories with us. We want to know what clickbait you're looking at this week. Subscribe to our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Wondery app, or wherever you guys are listening right now. Hit the subscribe button. See you guys next week.